Hey, Birds of a Feathers fans. So check this out. Our Birds of a Feather podcast is available on all streaming platforms. You got Spotify, Apple, and then on YouTube, it's under Gnome Productions. Gnome Productions. Look out for us, and we look to find you.
Me keep a 20 on me case emergency. Ain't no cap in my rap. Real I know it's the truck. More profit mean extra. Emerald white out full of pressure. That cereal milk smoking right. But that Obama rant some special. Kansas City, I'm a chief. Shout out to K5 on new one. Country thuggin', I was hustling. I always had it on me. Booming like OJ the juice. Till a nigga told on me. From now on, it's relentless. Ain't no love, we ain't friendly. If she want me on him, no the law, she get the business. No the law, still the motto. Empire.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in. This is the Birds of a Feather podcast with your boy Q City.
Your boy Taj Bravado.
And this is episode 33, Growing Pains. Now, I always introduce the front of the episode at the beginning. If I get the numbers wrong, y'all know I can't count. Don't get mad. So we're going to go into last week versus the Commanders, look into next week versus the Bucs, check out what's going on in division, see how we did last week, and give me props and then some city talk at the end. So come along with us and enjoy this ride. And so we're coming off a 24-16 loss versus the Commanders this past week. And I'm not gonna lie to you, man. This was kind of rough. It's Ritter's first loss at home. I guess it's the first time for everything. You know what I'm saying? But I I really felt like there were facets outside of him today that contributed to this loss. On the stat sheet, it's gonna show the 3 interceptions, but there was way more happening around him. That's my view on it. What you think was your look on the game?
Okay, so looking at the statue, it's easy to blame Ritter, but I mean there will look to be a lot going on with late snaps. There seemed to be communication issues, um, the lack of run game. Is it's difficult to put this on Ritter because like he's showing flashes, but he's also showing that this is his ninth NFL game. So
Yeah.
um,
And I think reasonably you can say, somebody can get a season worth of starts, 16, 17 starts before you kind of got a good view of who they are. And then those 16, 17 starts will be spewed out over 2 seasons. Here's the crazy part. I am more hopeful of Ritter after this game than I was last game. And
elaborate.
so hear me out. One, we have been absolutely trash on first drives. Like that has been like a staple. We're getting the ball intercepted. We're going 3 and out consistently. First drive, he takes the ball down the field, and Washington kept the ball for like 6.5 minutes of the first quarter. So it was absolutely imperative that we had some type of scoring on that drive, right?
Hmm.
Took the ball down the field. Like you talked about, was decisive, got London involved on that drive, ultimately scored the touchdown with Pitts with a layered throw over 2 defenders. I was like, yo, that was beautiful. You know what I'm saying? I definitely felt like you were in control of the offense. You were doing what you needed to do. Washington went
Yeah.
down, they scored. You know what I'm saying? You had a 3 and out. No one expects you to score every single possession. You know what I'm saying? Washington gets the ball, they punt it, you get the ball back, you throw an interception. Now that first interception, I definitely felt like it was a miscommunication error. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
because it's
Like
a new player. He's not even been here for a week. So
no, 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 no. The first interception was he was throwing to
Van Jefferson on the out route.
yeah, he was throwing to, yeah, you're right. He was throwing to Van Jefferson on the outright and he expected him to hook and he just didn't. So he threw to where he thought he should be. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
cornerback jumped the route. Okay, cool. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? You can kind of just that's miscommunication right there. So I didn't necessarily put that one on him, right?
Mm.
Uh, they score off that one. It's 17-7. It's very easy there to just be like, today's not our day. You know what I'm saying? We're down 10, we're turning the ball over. Today's not our day. We go down, we get a field goal, right? So now it's 17-10. They score again, you know what I'm saying, 24-10. Uh, we get the ball back, and one, I feel like he did have that bad one for intentional grounding. He took a bad sack. You know what I'm saying?
I honestly did not like that call
No,
because
that it was he didn't get close to the line. In fact, when they didn't throw the flag initially, I thought he was going to get away with it. He never got close to the line. Like the ball never got close to it. It was a good 3 yards behind. And so like when they didn't throw the flag, I thought he got away with it. But you got to realize it's not where the ball lands; it's where it goes out of bounds.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? So like where it went
yeah,
out of
yeah.
bounds, it wasn't even close. Um,
Mm.
so yeah, he took that one. Uh, so you keep progressing with the game. It looks like he's getting a full mental control of the offense. I love the fact you had London involved in the day. Your snap count was drawing them off sides. Um, you really look like you were in control of the offense. Now, when y'all scored the touchdown, getting to the point to where you go for two, right? And I feel like that is the part of the game that dicked us. You know what I'm saying? That's the part that screwed us right there. Is that you had three calls in the red zone before you scored, like three calls within the five before you scored. Then you put a 2 point play. You're kind of exhausting what you can call in the red zone that they haven't seen multiple times. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so when you miss that opportunity, you get a defensive stop, you get the ball back, you're moving, you get a fortuitous penalty um, from the rough and the passer, you get back into the red zone. Now you're kind of searching, you're kind of looking for, okay, what can I call? What can I call? What can I call? Play getting in late, them getting like lined up into the ball, and then you have like unnecessary motion. We talked about 2 weeks ago. This is a very motion heavy offense, but you're putting people in motion that aren't going to be used. They're really just trying to give answers to the test type thing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So you've got people just in unnecessary motion, and so now, okay, play clock going down, play clock going down. There is no way in the world, even down two scores, you don't use and you weren't down two scores, you were down one score, that you don't use a timeout and not get a delay of game. Like that,
Yeah.
that's terrible coaching. It's terrible coaching right there. So you take the delay game, you go from the 2 to the 7, and then off a delay a game, you're late getting a play in again. You know what I'm saying? They've
Mm.
shown they've shown that when you're in goal to go in fourth down situations, they're putting you in. They're going zero blitz. Like they've done it consistently today. They're going zero blitz when you're in those situations. So like you're anticipating a zero blitz, you have a man beater, but the guy sitting on the route, and Ritter does kind of do like a float like fade away type of throw. You know what I'm saying? I wish he would stand there and deliver, and take the hit there, but at least like stand there and try to deliver the ball into the back corner of the end zone to give this guy a shot. But like I definitely put that second red zone interception way more on the coaching staff than I do on
Uh,
Ritter in this
I'm not
situation.
putting that one on the coaching staff. Because didn't they just call a timeout before the play before, or had a penalty to the play before?
They had a delay game before
Yeah,
that.
and then the next play, I'm
They
not
didn't
putting
even,
that on the
they
coaches
didn't break the
because
huddle until 18 seconds, bro. They didn't even
bro,
break the huddle until 18 seconds.
I'm not gonna put that on the coach because the thing is that's about the average time they break the huddle anyway, around 18 seconds.
They
But
broke it around 18. They lined up. Then they had a motion on that play. Now he's clapping to get the ball because you got 2 seconds left. Like they almost had another delay of game.
but that's been pretty much the norm for them. I'm not putting that on the coach because that's been the norm. That is because that happened far too many times to where the center's just not snapping the ball. We've seen because we got away with a couple. We've seen probably about 4 or 5
Yeah,
delay of
we
games
did get away with a couple.
worthy.
We got away with a couple.
Like so, all of those can't be on the coach.
Well, how fast are we getting play in?
The
Where
play,
is the motion? Where's the
okay,
motion?
so
What's the snap count on
the
these?
reason why I'm not putting on the coach because that's never been an issue until today. It's never been an issue. It doesn't just magically become an issue today because of coaching.
Hey, look, one of the things that you have to think about is as you continue to get into red zone situations, you only have so many plays. You might have been scraping the bottom of the barrel there, and that's causing you to take longer to get the plays in.
I'm still not buying that. I'm not putting on the coach.
You see
I,
it played out. You see it
I'm
played out.
I'm
That's
not putting that
where it
solely on the
happened.
coach.
That's where it happened today. Now, if because you're scraping the bottom of the barrel, Ritter maybe doesn't know how to get that play call out. Maybe there are people confused. You got to do some extra conversating in the huddle. Okay, hey, when I call this, you
Because
got to go
because
there,
because
block,
here
block.
see, but I got some pushback on that because because the thing is the mic thing, the communication device in the helmet, it cuts out after a certain time. So them getting out the huddle at that time can't be on him because it cuts out after a certain time.
So
I think it.
my thing is, what are you putting in? You know what I'm saying? Because you've seen a couple times because the mic cuts out at what 22, right? You've seen a
I'm
couple
not sure of
times.
the exact time, but I know it cuts out after like maybe 15, 20 seconds.
Yeah, so it cuts out at like right around 22-ish, 25, somewhere in there. You saw like they had to look over to the sideline before they could break the huddle. That is literally slow play. Like that's long in the play getting in. Then that oversimplifies what you can call, which means when you get to the line, you got to make an audible. And so like you're consistently seeing it, especially in the red zone. And I think a good part of that is because you exhausted your red zone plays. We ran like 12 plays in the red zone.
Yeah, we did.
Your call sheet in the red zone is not that long. It's not, especially from like within the 10, because you only have limited space.
But the thing is, in the red zone, it shouldn't have to be. It shouldn't have to be cute. It's just the fact that they just outmanned us up front. That's the truth of it.
I honestly don't feel like our offensive line didn't play well today.
I
I
didn't say
don't
that they
feel
play. No, where was the run game at? We couldn't run on them at all because their D line was bullying us.
no, we could so that we were gonna get to that point, right? So if you want to just talk about Ritter within himself, I feel like there was a lot that was left to be desired. He had the 3 interceptions, but I still feel like he had a pretty good, decent day, right? I feel like he did what he could throughout the day, did what he was supposed to for the most part. You know, you had a miscommunication. You had what I felt was like coaches not putting you in the best position. And then the last piece, just honest and true, is that the linebacker made a great play, kind of got away with the hold,
He
but
did.
you know, it happens. I didn't feel like on that last drive, and I think London going out on that last drive
He
also
came
had
back
a
in
lot
though.
to do.
He was in on that play.
He went out on what was it, 2 plays
I
before, but
know,
he was
but he came back.
clearly compromised. He was clearly compromised. He twisted an ankle or something. But like I think him not being 100 on that drive might have had something to do with you going to somebody else in the situation because you saw
And
early in the drive he was
go to
looking
your
for
number
London.
4 pick.
You saw early in the drive he was looking for London. London has
That's fine.
shown that
Well,
he's
go
that
to your
guy
number
in
4
those
pick then.
situations. That's another thing. The fourth down play, right from the 40, right before the 2-minute warning, right. Where was London? Where was Pitts? He threw the ball to Pitts in that situation, right? You had 4 defenders in the situation. Did you peep who was the wide receiver behind Pitts?
I don't. I have no recollection of that play right now.
It
My
was London,
apologies.
bro. It was London. You lined it on a fourth down play, bro. A gotta have it play. You lined both of your best players up on the same side and ran them on deep in breaking routes, one behind the other. Where are the best defenders on the field going to be? in that situation. That's what I talk about with coaching, bro. That's what I talk about with coaching. Stuff like that. Like you don't put your players in positions to succeed in those situations, especially if you're gonna call plays like that.
I don't. I don't know.
And that's where it's like I feel like on that last drive, him being out, yeah, you throw a slant to Bijan in man coverage against a linebacker. 9 times out of 10, that's where you're gonna go with the ball. That makes sense. You know what I'm saying? It's fine. But I definitely feel like you said, linebacker got away with a hold, and it was a good play. It was a good play. You know, you can get away with the hold, and then you still got to make a play on the ball. So, it's fine. I just think that I wasn't as oh, we got to get. All right, I'll edit that out. I wasn't as, oh man, we got to get Ritter out of here as I was, the Lions game per se. I felt like our defense did what they could in this situation. They only allowed 24 points. You know what I'm saying? But
I'm not
and,
really
and
gonna
they
put
had they had critical stops. They had critical
I,
and crucial stops.
the thing. Like 14 of them points, I'm not even sure I want to put on the defense.
Yeah, I know one off the one off the punt return. That's not
Punt
really
return and then the pick.
where the pick end. I think he stepped out at like the 30, didn't he?
Yeah, they had two very short fields. They scored on both because they scored off that Brian Robinson touchdown after the pick.
Yeah, 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 off the screen pass.
Yeah.
So yeah, and that drive was only 27 yards. So he was inside the 30 off of that
Yeah. So
miscommunication pick.
I don't. The defense did fine. The defense we got 5 sacks.
Yeah,
5 sacks. Yeah, sure. They still didn't give up a whole lot of yards because we did a great job on them defensively. It's just
I feel
having
I
a
feel
good
like they
defense.
did what they could. I feel like they did what they could in that situation.
No, they did. I mean, because the thing is, it's very difficult to go out there and defend on a quick change. Quick change is very difficult because you're just chilling, thinking, okay, the offense about to do their thing, and pick, boom. Okay, well, damn. All right, let's go ahead and get back out there, try to knock it down, and then the punt return.
The punt return was a killer. The punt
Yeah,
return was a killer. We were able to overcome it for the most part, but that punt return was tough. Like you don't expect you don't expect the field to flip that heavily. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Um, and I felt like our defense was just any defense in that situation. You give a team the ball on like the 10-yard line, like yeah, you can hold them to a field goal, and they did. They held them to one field goal today. I felt like one touchdown, and that was on the first drive. I felt like you said, 14 points was kind of really on the offense. One touchdown was really a long drive. It wasn't even a long drive. I think it was like 45, 50 yards.
Um, Trying to think. Might have been.
Yeah, it was like it
I,
wasn't even like length of the field type of drive. I think it was just like off a punt type situation. Um, but when you look at it, I
yeah,
think
because
I'm not worried about our defense. You know what I'm saying? Allowing 24 points, I'm not worried about our defense. You know what I'm saying? Uh, we're 500. We're literally average, and it's,
I'm looking at the breakdown and they barely had over 200 yards of total offense.
yeah, it was turnovers. It was
Because Howell
turnovers.
had 150, then Brian Robertson had 31, then the other running back had 23, and another one had 15. So they barely had over 200 yards of offense. Sam Howell went 14 and 23, 151 and 3 touchdowns. Got sacked 5 times.
And you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me a lot of the Packers game with Jordan Love, where it's like, yeah, you had 3 touchdowns, but like you weren't really moving the ball on us like that.
Yeah, we had 400 yards of offense.
And London had over 100 yards. Pitts had a really good game. Um, Jonnu had a touchdown. And that's what I'm saying. Like where you were a couple weeks ago, where you were like the pieces are there. That's how I felt after this game. Yes,
Yeah,
three picks is bad. Yes, 3 picks is bad. I'm not gonna try to gloss over that. I explained my thinking on the picks. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna but I'm not gonna absolve him. You know what I'm saying? You still gotta execute. You still gotta, hell,
yeah,
maybe like I said in the goal line situation, either step into that throw and take a hit, or maybe take the sack in that situation because it was only third down. I can, I'm not gonna try to absolve him of the situation, but I definitely feel much more content with our offense and how we're moving, what we look like going forward after this game than I had any other game, including our win versus the Texans. I feel like the Commanders aren't a great, like super touted team, but I definitely feel like they could end up in the playoffs. And we easily could have scored 27 points this game.
yeah. So like
Easily could have scored 27.
so you saying what I'm saying about the offense?
Yeah, we easily could have scored
Yeah,
27 this game.
because it's like the bones are there. It's just
Now, and I'm, you may be a bit more apoplectic to what I'm saying in terms of the coaching, but I have a distinct issue with what we were doing coaching wise today.
and what would that be?
Like I don't feel like I feel like Arthur Smith had a terrible coaching day today. Like one, his calls repeatedly throughout the game were like his play calling was erratic today. His lineups, he put people in positions that I don't feel like they were in a position to succeed. His fourth down going for it kind of made sense, but then like it felt like after he missed that first fourth down and they scored on it, that was the other long drive. Um, he missed that fourth down and they scored on it. It's like he was chasing that for the rest of the day. All right, man. So we're looking ahead to next week versus the Bucks. They're coming off a 20-6 loss versus the Lions. Tell me what you think about this team, man.
Um, Bucks a good team. I mean, I've always said that I didn't understand why people were so down on them. Yeah, they got Baker Mayfield, but the roster itself is still a very strong roster. But this is a winnable game for us. Um, I was hoping, I don't wish injury on anyone, but Vita Vea was hurt, and I was hoping that we would get to miss him this time. But it appears that he may be trending toward playing, so that's not good because I was hoping we can get this run game back on track. But this Bucks team, I
We
look at them a lot like I look at us. We're both talented teams trying to make our way through things.
Now, I definitely think we've struggled in the past couple weeks getting this run game like really up to snuff. And like I don't feel like that 20-6 loss versus the Lions is anything to be like down about because I honestly think the Lions just might be a really good team this year.
Yeah.
You know
Oh
what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so like that kind of makes our loss a bit more palatable to them. And like seeing how they dominated the Bucks is kind of like, okay, we're that's our level of competition. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Lions might be closer to Eagles and 49ers than they are to us. And then that's just, hey, that's the nature of the game or whatnot. But
Yeah.
the first thing that you have to do is win your division, and this is a divisional game. So, like, if we're on even par with our divisional teams, we got to win divisional games.
Right.
So I'm looking at it. First things first, Todd Bowles. He's always been really good on defense, and that defense has a lot of playmakers on it. Still, some remnants of that Super Bowl roster. You got Levante David, uh, Devin White, like you talked about, Vita Vea. You still got Antoine Winfield Jr. So like they've got playmakers on the line at the second level and in the secondary, and they're not a super highly ranked defense, but like that defense can ball.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Yeah.
And
It's
when
still a very effective defense.
I'm looking on how to attack it, I don't think you're going to get a whole bunch of fancy run schemes. Um, I think you're just going to have to line up hat on hat and try to try to run the ball straight at them.
Well, that's just not who we are. We don't got the dogs to just hat on hat. We have to get creative in the run game. That's part of what made us so special last year in the run game. I would like to see Arthur get back in his bag because
I didn't see
even
it.
though
I didn't see it last week. I didn't see it
yeah, that's what
last
I'm saying.
week like I thought it would.
Yeah, this is like I was having a conversation earlier with a couple of people, and I was just saying, hey, we're seeing all stacked boxes, and then they brought up the point. Well, we saw him last year too, and Arthur Smith was still cooking. So what's the difference? And truth be told, our offensive line has regressed.
A little bit, you
Um,
know what I'm saying? Because I would, yes, based on numbers, it's probably worse, but like I would say we're experiencing pretty much on par, same level of quarterback play that we had through the first 6 weeks of last season.
I
Like
mean,
I
the
don't
the, the
see
court,
a
well,
significant change.
the quarterback plays better. Um, I mean, the turnover, but that's to be expected with a younger guy. But like
He had 3 in 1
the
game,
high, the,
you know.
the high end, the high end is much better with Ritter. So,
Yeah, and so like I was saying that as a point to like if you look at it to your point, we faced stacked boxes last year. You know what I'm saying, and with pretty much the same level of quarterback play, and like we didn't have a super dynamic offense. That was one of the qualms, but like the one thing we never lost last year was the ability to run the ball. And we both talked about, last game, we expected to see a bit more creativity within the run game. You know what I'm saying? And it just honestly wasn't there. Now, could it have been execution a bit? Possibly, but
possibly,
it just didn't look like the same commitment to being super creative in the run game, which led to the play action pass game, was there last game. And so I really look forward to getting back to it this week.
yeah. That's definitely what I'm hoping for. Just hopefully we can get back to the style of football that I know we can.
Now, London and Pitts are both coming off really good games. How do you expect them to be involved in this game?
Um, More of the same. I do expect the. It just feels like I, this is going to be the week that we see the run game get back going. And once that gets going, I think that's going to open things up for it because with the way that Tampa likes to blitz, because Todd Bowles is a notorious blitzer, like you don't want Ritter just dropping back on that. So you
No,
need to get this run game going to keep them off of him, or it's going to be another ugly game possibly.
I think it would be like if they're not able to really capitalize with draws, screens, or running straight at blitzes and popping them, you're going to have almost a repeat of the Detroit game where like the line is just overwhelmed. You know what I'm saying? For a majority of the
Hmm.
game. And like no quarterback can. And I know like this, it seems as though I'm doing a 180 on Ritter, but like I really was impressed over the past like 7 to 10 quarters of football on like how you're progressing. Have you made some bad decisions? Yes, but you are progressing. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? From in my eyes, below average to average quarterback play. You know what I'm saying? And
Hmm.
with that being the case, like the best quarterbacks cannot function when the rush is coming right up the middle and it's in your face in less than 2 seconds. So like
Yeah.
an average quarterback definitely can't in that regard. And so, like, you got to be able to slow that rush down, and without without the commitment from the line or without the commitment to the run game, you're not going to be able to do that. Now, how I was looking at it was because we're going to have such a commitment to the run game. So the run game was kind of shut down with Washington, which is why I felt like London ended up getting off. You know what I'm saying? Especially the way he did. I feel like
Mhm.
since we're going to have such a commitment to the run game, the only passes are going to be kind of shot plays type thing. So I feel like London might be only around 6 or 7 targets this game. Pitt's around 5 to 4 targets this game, and a lot of short intermediate throws to Janu, uh, Bijan out the backfield, Algier out the backfield, possibly Matt Collins on a long play or two, but definitely distributing the ball a little further around, but not a heavy amount of pass attempts. So, we'll talk about it later in the betting points, but Ritter for like the 18.6 completions, or 18.5 completions, I'm like, I feel like that's going to be close this game. I really feel like they're going to lean heavy on the run.
I still think that's cash.
Kabasi, he's been hanging around. He's been hanging around 19, but
Yeah.
they might be lower completion. So it might be, and I'm not betting on yardage. So if it's just strictly completions, it might still be cash. But I don't see this as a really high yardage game throwing the ball.
Yeah. I don't necessarily see it. I mean, it's possible, but because
I mean, yeah, you hit one over the top every now and then, but just in terms of like within the Florida offense, I don't see them putting the ball in the air like that. Like I see a bunch of third and fours, third and three type situations, and them just like, hey, we're gonna run it. Like we're gonna find a way to get this first down, grind the clock, keep it going. We might play action and boot real quick, yeah, give you a little high low read, but nah, I don't see big numbers passing the ball.
I mean, but it ultimately just depends on what kind of bag Arthur Smith brings with him this week. Is he going to get into a Houston type of bag, or is he going to get into the bag where his play calling is questionable again?
Houston, I felt like was a Houston. I felt like his play calling could have been deemed as shaky, but it was one. I believe Houston's coach is like high level. Like I
No,
definitely
no,
think,
no. The Marco's high level, but
yeah,
like that was one of the that that game. I mean, even though the run game didn't get going because I mean they obviously they were emphasizing trying to take that away. We were still able to get a couple runs off, but that was probably one of the cleanest games I've seen him call and seen Ritter play in that game.
yeah, and
I
and
just,
the decisive was definitely some of the words that he was coming out of there. I just felt like his play calling was maybe masked a little, like the bad play calls were maybe masked a little bit by an inferior opponent in that regard.
I don't, I don't know if Houston's an inferior opponent.
I think we're better than Houston. I feel like
I mean,
Houston. I feel like
I
C.J.
think we're better,
Stroud is
but
a dog. I feel like
I
C.J.
think I
Stroud is
think we're
that dude.
better, but I don't think it's by much.
And like we both think that D'Amico Ryans is a great coach in the making. CJ Stroud is one of them ones. Will Anderson is pretty good, but like all of them are still, excuse me, first year inexperience. You know what I'm saying? So like that's what I mean by like your play calling could have been like bad play calling may not have been capitalized on by the other team just because like inexperience. That's what I meant by like inferior. Not like we're just
I
like
mean, but
so much better than them.
no, but I mean, coaching wise, yeah, but they have a lot of vets by design though.
This is true.
So it's like it was a clean game. Like the play calls were perfect, but you're never going to have a perfect game of play calling. But that was just as clean a game as I've seen. But
Especially in contrast to this last one. So
yeah, because it's like the first, because like sometimes it just feels like I understand that you believe in Ritter, but you also have to help Ritter. because sometimes it feels like he's calling plays like he has a veteran back there.
You know what?
And Ritter,
Okay. So you say it like that. You say it like that, and I don't want to get too far away from the Bucks, but you say it like he's calling plays like he is a veteran back there. And for me, like the the part in my mind that's kind of just like uh thinks about things in a bad way, pessimistic. Is like, bro,
mm,
it's almost like you calling plays to sabotage this man. Like you're putting him in positions to show management, show the fans, show etc. that like, okay, hey, this isn't the guy. I need somebody who can make
I
this type of
I
play.
don't. That's not the vibe I get.
No, and like
I
I said,
just
that's the pessimism in me. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
like
That's the pessimism in me.
yeah.
Because
It's just
it's
like I
almost
get
like you want to show that hey, Ritter can't make this throw instead of highlighting all the things he does do well. Like I told you last year, you know what I'm saying? Like one of the things me and you, we had a rapport about before we ever, started doing the pod was just like talking back and forth on social media was like he does great on middle of the field throws off play action when he shows his back to the defense and he's got one read or a throwaway, right? Like that's now granted, defensive coaches are going to pick up on that, but you're almost not even. It's like that's not even part of your playbook for the first half of games. You throw it in the second half, he executes it to a very high level, but at that point in time, the game is starting to get away from you. You know what I'm saying? Or you're becoming a predictable offense at that point because you're leaning heavy into what he does well, and in the first half, you're trying to show everything he can't do. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, that's the pessimism in me.
yeah. The way I look at it is I feel like because I feel like Ritter has shown that he can do these things, and I feel like he's trying to showcase what Ritter can do. But I guess sometimes he gets ahead of himself and realizes Ritter has only played in 10 NFL games.
10.
So yeah,
10.
so yes, there's going to be mistakes. It's inevitable. So like Arthur Smith, I think sometimes I don't think it's sabotage. I think it's just sometimes Arthur Arthur Smith a lot of times gives off this "I'm the smartest guy in the room" vibe,
That's true.
and a lot of times that comes back to bite him in the ass. So I just wish he would, just like I know you say you believe in Ritter and there's all type of endorsements around the organization for Ritter, but help the man out. Make it simple. Like I know you want your offense but hey, make it easy for him. Because like I'm not sure if you're familiar with JT O'Sullivan. He has a EG play called the quarterback score, and he does a lot of film breakdown. And he was just talking about how a lot of the route combinations and things are not really helpful for a young quarterback because whenever we do run our play action boots and stuff like that, typically you want a guy in the flat, then an over route, and maybe a shot. A lot of times that
That
dude
high
coming
low
through the
concept.
flat, yeah. A lot of times that dude coming through the flat, he's coming across the formation and he gets caught in a lot of traffic, like versus the Commanders. The one where Ritter took the intentional grounding. Drake London should have been free, but he has to run through so much traffic that he got caught up, and Ritter had nowhere else to go.
And there's not really another option on that play.
Yeah, the only other option was a deep shot to I want to say Mac Hollins. He's bracketing.
That was double covered. Yeah.
Yeah, so like, what is Ritter supposed to do? Like, he's trying to buy time, and then it just didn't work out. Like, sure, he could have got it up, but that was just a bad play call, and just sometimes as a player, you got to know when to quit. Like, you know what? This ain't working out. Let's just move on to the next play.
Yeah, don't make a bad play worse. But that comes
Yeah.
with time, right? So like one of the things a Bucks former quarterback, you know what I'm saying, that was obviously the greatest. But like one of the things that made Tom Brady so special is he wouldn't make a bad play worse. You know what I'm saying? If this play doesn't work, he's dirting it. He's throwing it away like very quickly. Um, if they disguise the look and he guessed it wrong, like as soon as the play, like, okay, hey, I checked to a cover two beater. This is cover three. We're dirting it. You know what I'm saying? Like we'll try again. And I think that just really comes with time and experience. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah,
like
yeah. I mean,
Ritter
it's a
is,
lot of things that will.
yeah, he is athletic enough that like, he's athletic enough to get away from some NFL defenders. And so I don't mind him escaping out the back door. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not like Baker, where Baker thinks he's fast. You know what I'm saying? And had to
No,
learn he's not.
Ritter's legit. Yeah, Ritter's a legitimately. He's one of the actually faster quarterbacks.
Yeah. Like Ritter's a legit athlete. And so like, if you escape out the back door and you widen that bootleg and then you decide, okay, I'm gonna get it past the line of scrimmage, then
Now,
all right, cool. As opposed to somebody who doesn't have that athletic capability, just dirting the play pretty quickly. But like sometimes even like Patrick Mahomes has had to learn. Yeah, even though I have the athletic ability, this play just isn't working. Like let's get to the next one.
now, now, there is one particular qualm I have with Ritter. Um, because you bringing up the athleticism made me think of this. It's like, as athletic as he is, sometimes I feel like when it's time to be athletic, I feel like he's just kind of just jogging it. Because I've seen plays where he can actually run, but then I see a lot of time where it just look like he's in cruise control.
Well, so for him, I think that it's been kind of beaten in him to remain a passer, and I
No,
think
no, because I'm not even talking about pass. I'm talking about just like even design runs, like the what was it? The run versus the did he have a run versus the Commanders, or I can't remember who it was again. I think it was the Texans. But on that run, he was just jogging out there, like,
where they scored to the left side into the end
yeah.
zone for the touchdown.
It's just like, yeah, I mean, I understand you're trying to set some blocks up, but I need to see some urgency sometimes.
No,
I know you can move.
but his level of athleticism reminds me a lot of like Dak. Like he's not like
No,
an elite
he,
athlete.
he, he he's no okay. He's much more athletic than that.
No,
He he
well,
he
he's much more
he.
athletic than this Dak, but I'm talking like
No,
Dak when Dak first came in.
he's much more athletic than that Dak,
I think
because
it's comparable.
I no, it's not,
Like
because I
like
think, hold
Mariota,
on, hold on.
Mariota's a better athlete than, like, if we're talking
See,
strictly athlete.
okay, okay. No, Mariota's a better runner. Mariota's a more natural runner than Ritter, but Ritter's faster than Mariota.
Nah,
He ran a faster at the combine. They showed the time camp. He beat him.
yeah, but like play speed, like Mariota
See,
in
no,
game
I
had a
think
75-yard run.
yeah, but Mariota's a more natural runner. He's been like throughout Oregon, he leaned on that running ability.
Yeah, but yeah. So like
It's just
when I
natural
think
running. I
about
think
when I think about like athleticism, that's like putting it all together. So like when
so okay. I think it's just the way that they were like. Mariota was an athlete playing quarterback. Ritter is a quarterback that happens to be an athlete.
and I don't just think like he's not like Lamar level athlete to me.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
he's not Lamar, but he's the tier under that.
I would agree with that. Like
Like
I wouldn't say like Josh
he's never
Allen.
going.
I wouldn't say
The thing is, okay, Josh Allen. The only difference between Josh Allen and Ritter athletically is that Josh Allen can run through you. Ritter's not going to do that because he's only 220, like 210. But as far as the way they move very similar. It's just Josh Allen can run through an arm tackle. Ritter can't do that. Because you're not going to see Josh Allen juke or nobody. He's 6'5", 240. He's going to run through most people.
you know what you have
So
you do have a valid point there because he's not crazy fast. He just
no,
doesn't go down on arm tackles.
it's the same thing
Yeah,
with Daniel Jones. Like
yeah.
they're not more athletic than Ritter. It's just
You know what? I feel
they're
like Daniel
big.
Jones is a pretty good comp but I would consider Daniel Jones a little bit more athletic because like I look about like putting it all together and like in game Daniel Jones had an 80-yard run. You know what I'm saying? So
But
that
who?
means like
But
I can
okay,
get
okay,
straight
okay.
line and then I
Yeah,
can
no, but the thing is, Daniel Jones is only doing it straight line. He's not making you miss.
no, no,
He's just
no.
straight line. That's why I don't think even Daniel Jones. Cause Daniel, I think Ritter's faster than Daniel Jones. It's just they don't really give Ritter those same opportunities. But then again, you also got to factor in Daniel Jones is 6'5", 230. Ritter is, even though he's not a small quarterback, he's very much on the slim side.
Yeah, he got to get some weight in his trunk, but I don't
Yeah,
know how
because
that affects his game. But here's how I look at it. If you're not going to be one of those make you miss, like run away from you type guys, what's the harm in putting on extra weight?
no, that's what I'm saying. Like he needs to, because I think Ritter could stand to put on about 5 to 10 pounds of muscle. Get him up to a solid 220. I think he's fine. He don't need to put on too much. Just, but it's like I look at his legs and he's slender man out there.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. I can see that. So when we think about that's the offensive side of the ball. When we think about the defense
Yeah,
side of the ball, they're going against Baker, right?
yeah.
Baker is kind of having a bounce back year here, and
He's been kind of
he
he's
had
kind
a
of coming
rough
back to
game against the
reality.
Lions, but the Lions might just be them type of dudes. Like,
But even before that though, like the past few couple of games, he's been coming back down to the Baker that we all know. And
well, they came off a bye. They faced the Lions, right? So you still got Godwin and Evans out there. You know, two monsters on either side. Um, And I think part of the reason Baker's kind of been having a pretty good comeback year is uh, this Canales guy. So they hired him from Seattle, right? And he was the one that got Geno on track. So, like, one, I love when our division gets really good offensive minds because that means they'll be gone in a year. So we for like 3 days now.
oh god,
Yeah. But I got my age test and it's negative. So, like, that's all that really mattered.
huh?
As long as that's good, we can figure out everything else. All right. So next we're gonna go to in division. Come on, bro. Lock in. We
Oh,
finna check out in division. We finna check out the rest of the division. So right now, you got the Bucks at 3-2, right? Obviously they're facing us this week, 20-6, loss versus the Lions. Us at 3-3 versus the Bucks. Obviously, half a game behind. The Bucks had a bye. We didn't, had a loss. Saints 3-4. You know, recording this a little late, so they already lost versus the Jags, 31-24.
ooh,
The game was not that close. And then Panthers 0-6, lost versus the Dolphins, 42-21. Uh, they didn't cover, and they have a bye. So it felt a little racist that the Panthers didn't cover. I'm not gonna lie to you, but you know what you thinking about the division this week?
um, I'm thinking that we put our input on the division and finally take first place.
It's really what it boils down to, right? So Saints already played this week. Um, they've got 4 losses. We go ahead and get 4 wins. The Bucks go behind us, and the Panthers. I think one more loss and they're pretty much out of it. Honestly, I think they're already out of it. But
It's already a wrap. Like
yeah, yeah. The fact that they couldn't cover a 14.5 spread is bro, it's how they didn't cover. We'll get to it in the betting points, but it's how like what is going on. But obviously, you know, division game this week. We handle our business. We move solely in the first place, and it's needed early in the season.
mhm.
Now, when I look at it, I'm thinking, you know, we've got an AFC opponent, and then we get a bye, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, Titans and bye. So how I look at it is if we can go ahead and get to 5 wins before our bye, we might
Oh,
be.
we good.
Yeah, we
I
we
think
really
that's
might be in a good spot.
I think that sets us up very well because I think the second after the bye that stretch is very favorable.
And it's a lot of division games. You know what I'm saying? We play Carolina again. We'll play the Bucks again. We still got the Saints twice, and yes, they have a good defense, quote unquote. But we should be able to set ourselves up in a position to not run away with the division, but put ourselves in the pole position for the division.
I can see that. Yeah.
Now, I will talk to you about what the hell happened in Miami, bro. What the hell happened in Miami with the Panthers, dog? Like, how I don't think most people realize like how big a number 14 and a half is. Like most NFL games are decided by 6 points or less.
I mean, I
Like
told you.
you did. And I just the logic in me could not believe it, bro. Like the Panthers are terrible, man.
Yeah, they're a bad football team.
Like the Panthers are like there's bad and like the Bears are bad. You know what I'm saying? Like the Bears are bad. They're bad. The Panthers are terrible, bro. Like the
Yeah,
Bears might have the number one pick and it not be because of them.
yeah. Oh yeah, no, yeah. I fully that's what I fully suspect is going to happen.
It's just I I I don't I don't know where their win is gonna come to. I think they're gonna win one, right? Like Cleveland was the last team to go 0-16. I don't think they're gonna go 0-16. I think they'll get to be honest, I think they'll get two. I think they'll go 2-15 this year. But like I don't know where the 2 wins is coming from. And one bet not be us.
Yeah, I know that right.
But
I know that's right.
yeah, nah, I wouldn't mind if one was the Saints. I ain't gonna lie to you. But nah. And then the Saints versus the Jags, 31-24. The game wasn't that close. I have almost no fear of the Saints after that game. Derek Carr, I don't know if it's the shoulder. I don't know if he's just old, but like
No, it's just Derek Carr.
he can't push the ball down the field. He can't do it.
And to me, it just looked like Derek Carr being who he's been. Um, I mean, he's in the new offense. It doesn't really seem like it's the glove and hand fit. So, um, yeah, it's rough over there.
And they paid him 2 years. You know what I'm saying? He's
Yeah,
basically the starter for the
they
next two
they
years.
they, they are paying about 100% and getting the same production they're getting out of Raiders than we are, and they're paying what 35, 35 plus million a
Oh no,
year.
he signed to hold on.
No, I'm just saying per year, like 35 plus a year, maybe 40 a year.
Not yeah, I think it's closer to 40.
They're paying. I think yeah, 45. I think it's 45 a year.
So it's
They're,
4 year,
paying.
so it's 4 year, 150 that includes 100 million in guaranteed, but because you're a quarterback, basically that 150 is guaranteed. So you're gonna do 4 into 15 is the 3, 12, 35. Yeah, like 37.5.
Yeah, so they're paying 35
37.5,
plus.
bro.
Yeah, 37.5 a year, and we're paying Ritter about a million
Yeah,
for the same production.
damn near.
And I'd argue Ritter has flashed hot, better than he has this year. But
Now, granted, he got the shoulder hurt. I want to give him some benefit of the doubt, but like, yo, he's not good. Like
I'm not
he's not
because
good.
he's just showing to me who I always thought he was.
And I did think because he was with the Raiders, a lot of people gave him passes because it's a bad organization and whatnot. But like some of it was like Derek's just not good enough. And
No, yeah, it was a combination of things. He's just yeah, he's just no.
like I said, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm glad to have you in the division, big dog. Like I'm
Oh
glad
yeah,
to have you here.
I can count on you for getting AJ Terrell his first pick on the season, hopefully, and I can count on Foster Moreau for some drops. So
Well, as we move on, we're going to make sure that we take control of the division this week, and we're going to check on see how exactly we did on our betting points. So, Taj got some bets in, I got some bets in. Let's check out and see how we did. Bro, it'd be so hard to hold that sniff until
oh
like a.
yeah, man. I know. In our earlier episodes, I'll be trying to hold that cough in sometimes, but that cough be like, hey, hey, this ain't optional. I be like, my bad, OG.
Yeah, Cough said this is what it is. This is what's happening. You can get on board, you can get with it, or you can get
Or you
going.
gonna mess something else up.
All right, 38-30. Now on to the betting portion of the show. All right, man. All right. We gotta take our medicine. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, you get the gummy bears, and sometimes you get the castor oil. So here it goes. Came into the week 14-11, riding, flying high. Um, Bijan 16 and a half for his longest run, didn't cash. Brian Robinson 70.5 yards over, didn't cash. And then Jesse Bates, the 5.5 tackles and assisted, took the over, didn't cash. He had 5. Brian Robinson had 66 yards. Bijan's longest rush was 8. The two that did cash, Ritter 17.5 over on the completions, and then London 3.5 over on the reception. So 2 and 3 on the
Man, he
week.
smashed that.
Oh yeah, he had a huge day. So 2 and 3 on the week, 16 and 14 on the season. Still stick with me, still making a little money. You big dog. Came into the season 1 and 2. Uh Ritter total TEs 1.5, hit the over. Pitts 33.5 receiving yards, hit the over. Your last 3, Bijan anytime touchdown, didn't cash. Bijan 96.5 yards over, didn't cash.
Yeah.
And then Sam Howell 0.5 interception, didn't cash. So we're both sitting at 2 and 3 weeks. You 3 and 5 on the season. This was a rough week, and it didn't go at all how we kind of thought the game was gonna go, but like such is the life of betting. You know what I'm saying? It's just I felt like you were on the right side of obviously on Pitts and Ritter total touchdown. I think that you expressed like the idea of having an offensive explosion for the game, and I agreed. I think if we were possibly in a different point later in the game because of turnovers, Bijan may have got that anytime touchdown. I don't feel like the 96.5 was going to happen. And then for Sam Howell on the interception, didn't feel like it was going to happen. On my end, I didn't see the creativity in the run game, so Bijan with the 16.5 wasn't going to happen. Brian Robinson, he missed it by 5 yards. They were changing him in and out pretty frequently. But the Jesse Bates only getting 5 tackles and needing 6. I don't know where I missed that one. I figured he
Well, see, it's that one is they had to defend a lot of short fields.
which is
So
also true.
when you got short fields, there's not a lot of opportunities because the plays are limited. So
Yeah,
that probably played into it.
turnovers definitely killed the game.
Yeah, oh yeah, because we outgained them 400 to 200. Well, they didn't even hit. They didn't even have 200 total yards. They had 193. We had over 400.
The turnovers they're gonna kill you every time. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So we take our medicine there, we eat it. Um, now you go to games. You entered the season 1-0. You had the Falcons money line. Obviously didn't cash, so you're 1-1 on the season. I came into the season 1-2. Hear me out, big dog. I had Chicago +3 versus Minnesota. Justin Fields goes down, doesn't cash. I got Arizona +7 versus LA. It's a 3-point game at halftime. LA ends up winning by like 15. Didn't cash. Then I got Carolina 14.5 versus Miami. Hear me out, bro. I don't know if you watched the game or you just saw it get out of hand. Carolina was up 14-zip, right? And I'm like, but here's the thing. Here's the thing that you really got to think about. Here's the thing you really got to think about. Carolina is up 14-zip. So for you to lose this bet, there has to be a 28-point swing.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
is, bro.
exactly. Is that you hear that? Like you hear that, bro? Like Carolina was up 14-zip. So for you to lose that bet, it had to be a 28-point swing. Do you know the cash out probability when you were up 14-zip? They were paying you to cash out because they like this is like even if yeah, Miami's gonna come back, Miami's gonna win. They're not gonna win by 15 plus points. You have a
Right.
28-point buffer. Not only did they lose, right? But like, bro, it was 21 to 30. No, it was 14 to 35, bro. It was 14 to 35. You already like, damn, these niggas done fucked it up. They get a pick six. They get a pick six. It's 35-21. You like, okay, bet. We gonna cover. Miami get the ball back and gives up the touchdown to Mike White. Who made y'all this way, bro? Who made y'all this way? Like, I don't even know if I was mad or I was just like, this is what I deserve. Like
I mean,
it was the sickest game for me to watch, bro.
you kind of earned that one.
Bro, bro,
Like
14 and a half.
I don't want to be that guy, but I told you.
The bro, uh, uh,
Like
that's a college number, bro. And that's what I keep saying. Like I watched it happen. I watched it happen, and it still didn't make sense, bro. Cause like, bro, how are you that bad? How are y'all that bad as a team, bro? Like that is the worst team in the league.
the Broncos might have something to say, but yeah.
No, no. Yeah, they put 70 on the Broncos. But like, okay, so bro, they put 70 on the Broncos, right? That's bad. That's bad. It's not really like too much defense you can have on it. They lost by 50. But like going into the game, I think the spread was like 7. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. Like, yeah, they were better. And then like we had the discussion about the Broncos like quitting. You know what I'm saying? Like part way through that game. Like there was never a 28-point swing through that game. I don't think the Broncos ever led. You know what I'm saying? Through that game. Like they were up 14, lost the 14-point lead immediately, right? Like bam, bam. Like I think within, like they were up 14 by the end of the first. Like Miami was in scoring position for the second touchdown. So like lost to 14 by halftime. We're down 21-14. Coming out of half, we're down 28-14, and then was at 35-14 entering the fourth with the backups in.
Yeah.
Like, bro, it was so bad. Like, I watched it and couldn't believe it. Like, I was, what the fuck is happening right now? Like,
That's a bad vibe.
it was. It was. It felt racist, bro. Like, it felt like they came through the screen and called me a monkey. Like it felt racist. I'm telling you. Like it felt motivated. I couldn't. It didn't make sense. It didn't make
I
sense.
mean, it definitely had some on it.
But
It
regardless,
is.
we move, and I think that is why it is hugely important. Never bet anything you're not comfortable losing, right? So like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, we make our betting pod every week. It'll be out this week as well. Never bet anything you're not comfortable losing because weird things happen.
All the time.
So, I appreciate it. We're gonna go ahead, hit City Talk, and then we're gonna get y'all out of here. All right, man. So now getting into some City Talk, man. First things first, what roster moves do you see happening approaching the trade deadline?
I would love to see one. Like, I would love to see one involving a certain pass rusher to the Falcons, but I'm not overly hopeful for that. Um, maybe we do something that just brings us a couple of extra picks or something. Nothing too crazy. Just keep it simple.
So when I actually look at the team, I'm thinking a lot that like we're gonna make tertiary moves. I think that because our division is so bad, we're not actually looking to make any splash, but because we don't have an extremely high ceiling, we're not willing to give away any assets. Cause it's like, this could turn to shit and our first round pick could end up being top 10. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, like I foresee if any moves are made, it's very similar to like the Van Jefferson trade, where you're swapping late round picks and possibly getting a guy who could make a solid impact.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I don't expect no all in move.
Now
But
I see the Vikings looking to sell high. I see the Broncos looking to sell. Um, I would absolutely love to give like a fourth or a fifth for Jerry Judy, but I don't feel like he fits anything that we do offensively. I just like
nah,
him
I
as a
don't.
player.
I know Steve Smith don't, but
No. I'm saying like I like. Let me rephrase that. I
no,
liked his
no.
profile coming out.
I'm just messing with you, man.
Yeah, I liked his profile coming out. Like who he's actually shown to be a player is actually very much underwhelmed me. But I feel like that's why you can buy low on him right now. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you can for a guy who was a first round pick coming out, I feel like you can get him for a fifth right now.
Yeah.
Um who else on the Broncos? Patrick Surtain the second. Would love to have him on the team, but I feel
Oh,
like the price
he's not going. They're not moving him.
what it would take to move him would just be way too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, they might want fucking AJ, the AJ in the first for him just because of his contract.
They want multiple picks. They probably wouldn't even take anything back because they're about to be signed soon. They just be like, no, we'll take what you're gonna give us like a quarterback type trade.
Yeah, like, um, they don't really have any decent pass rushers or offensive linemen, which along the trenches are both factors we can use. Now the Vikings are selling pretty high right now. There was one thing I saw out there that was like if Kurt so they never got far on trade talks with contract talks with Justin Jefferson, right? Obviously they hold his franchise tag. Well, they hold his 5th year option and then his franchise tag and then another transition tag. So they have him under team control for a minimum 3 years. Now,
Hmm.
I like the salary cap numbers, get all nerdy or whatever. If you look at it, right, his 5th year is guaranteed for right around the totality of his contract was about 21 million, I think. And then his 5th year is guaranteed for like 18, right? So almost the whole bit of his contract. The franchise tag would be the average of the top 5 wide receivers, right? So you're looking at
Hmm.
Devontae Adams, 23, down to Debo, who's technically classified as a wide receiver, 17, right? So you're looking right around 20 mil on that one. So that's 38. And then the transition tag is that times 5%. So you're looking at or that times 15%. So you're looking at like 23 that last year, right? So like if you're looking at a contract, you don't even sniff the contract that's not saying 67.5 mil on it. You know what I'm saying? Like that is literally
Yeah.
the starting place because that is what, like, if I never sign anything again and I just play out team control, I'm making 67.5 mil, right? Keep
Right.
him now, keep in mind, he's been an all pro 2 times, pro bowler all 3 years. Like, now you got to start adding some incentives on it. I think he very easily could get 125 guaranteed, right? So basically double his guarantees to 125. What good is the Vikings paying that? They might not keep Kirk. They might bottom out.
Oh,
What's
Kirk,
the
no, Kirk, no, Kirk's out of there because they added 4 years to that contract. It's
yeah?
he's
So
gone
so
after
so
this year.
like they might bottom out. What's the point of having a super highly paid wide receiver? I think Justin
I don't know.
Jefferson might be a trade target, bro. And that sounds crazy, but I think Justin Jefferson might be a
It,
trade target.
well, one, he's on injury reserve, so you can't trade him anyway.
No, not right now. I'm saying like come the offseason.
I don't see it. Unless he's trying to force his way out of there, I don't see it.
He has no
It's
no. So would he force his way out of there? I think so.
I mean, but the earliest he could do it is what after year 6.
So the 5th year option would so Devontae Adams got 65.6 guaranteed, right? 5 year, 5 years, was it 135 or 140, somewhere in there? And he got like 65.6 guaranteed. I just broke down like Justin Jefferson shouldn't even see anything that isn't 67 guaranteed, right?
Yeah,
What how much is the market gonna change in 3 years for wide receivers?
oh, it's gonna change yearly. The cap goes up every year, so
But
as the cap goes up, there's more money to be allocated. So
no. But
it,
I'm asking who's next in line to get paid, wide
uh,
receiver wise? It's him.
after, yeah, after him, yeah, I mean,
It's
but
him. Like think about who comes after him.
no. I get what you're saying, but what I'm saying is like, yeah, it could be him, but like depending on how the Vikings play it, it could be Jamar Chase.
No, so no. So that's what I was getting at, right? You flowed right into the next point. That's what I was getting at. He's next in line, right? You shouldn't look at a contract that doesn't have 67.5 guaranteed. If Jamar Chase, so if you slow play this, right? You do your 5th year option. Jamar Chase is can then start negotiating because he's at the end of his 3rd year contract.
Yeah,
The Bengals would go through basically the same math, and with a slight difference in number, instead of 67.5, it'll probably be like 68.5. You know what I'm saying, or 69.
yeah.
Say he signs for 5 years, 145 mil, 70 guaranteed, right? Completely reasonable because they're letting T. Higgins go this year. Like it's not you can't keep them both. You're gonna keep Chase. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
you go 5 years, 145, 70 guaranteed. What the heck? Jamar Chase is a dog. He is a man. But if you want to look at strictly accolades and numbers, Justin Jefferson has produced far more. So what the
Oh
hell
yeah,
does his
definitely.
contract look like at that point?
I mean, there's a lot of different variables when you factor in contracts. Stats is a part of the puzzle, but it's not the whole puzzle. They also factor in impact. I would argue that Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson's impact for their teams collectively is about the same.
Which is no. I'm not doubting that part. I'm saying like when you go into contract talks, there are certain clauses that are written in,
I
and the
mean,
fact that he's
yeah,
been an all pro
yeah.
twice. You know what I'm saying? Like he's been an all pro twice. So like there's certain levels within your contract that like you can just negotiate too. Like um no matter how good Chase has been, he can only go in and say, "Hey, I've been an all pro once." You know what I'm saying? I've been all pro. And this should continue forward. Hell, that's going to get you to 70 mil. When Justin Jefferson comes to the table, he's going to say, I've been all pro twice. And at that point in time, possibly 3 times. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, my number is going to be significantly higher. Just like Devontae's number was significantly higher than anybody else that was out there because he's like, I've been an all pro 5 times.
Yeah.
I think that Justin Jefferson is like, and because there's such flux within the quarterback position, you don't want to allocate that much money to a tertiary position. You know what I'm saying? Like, do you think the Raiders regret giving Devontae that money without having a quarterback? Like,
Oh yeah.
granted, they thought Jimmy G was going to be it, but like that was stupid on their part.
Yeah, but the situations are a little bit different though.
Bro,
Justin
Devontae has
Jefferson,
4 catches in the last 2 games.
yeah, yeah. I
Like,
mean that's
quarterback, like wide receivers are extremely valuable. You know what I'm saying? But
true.
like they are, but on the same token, they're a tertiary piece. Like you can't fully access them without a quarterback.
Right.
And I think most teams, as they're starting to recognize and getting to know that, is looking at it like, yeah, Justin Jefferson is like amazing and whatnot, but like if we ain't got nobody to get him the ball,
It's
unless
pointless.
they're gonna bottom out and get a rookie quarterback and hope that rookie quarterback works out and just
Right.
hope Justin is gonna stay, you know what I'm saying, to kind of build this guy up. I think it's a very interesting situation. And I wouldn't be surprised if they tried to get ahead of it and cash out on the value that he does have. Because how I look at it is any team you trade him to would re-sign him, would be looking to re-sign him, and the
Right.
contract number starts at 3 years, 67 guaranteed.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So like that's kind of how you got to look at his contract. Like when I'm trading for you, I go 67 guaranteed. Side note, that to me is why the Bears and Panthers trade was so stupid, right? So like you signed DJ Moore. You took a dead cap because you traded him. But like the Bears said, you can either give us DJ Moore or Brian Burns. You traded DJ Moore and then you didn't sign Byron Burns.
But I mean, they still have time to do that.
Huh?
I mean, they still have time to do that. Like, it's not necessarily a rush on it.
Bro, there's no way he plays the season without a new contract.
He's playing though.
I no. I'm saying from a front office perspective. Because granted, this season has gone terrible. This season has gone terrible. And he hasn't necessarily balled out, right? But I don't want to take the chance of him having a 12 sack, 14 tackle for loss season, and I have a rookie quarterback, right? So I have the rookie quarterback contract. I'm signing you before the season, bro. Like I'm not letting you enter the season with any situation like with you being able to think that you're gonna get over him.
Oh, he's trying to get over.
Oh,
I
he
mean,
gonna
but
make bank.
they should the parents should be thankful that they don't play Caleb McGarry uh 14 more times a season.
Man, if they did, that man would be walking away with a Brinks truck, dog. Walking away
That boy
with a Brinks truck. So
in
so
a gold jacket.
so you walking away, right? Um, he was a first round pick, had a 4 year, $13 million contract, right? He's playing currently under his fifth year option currently, right?
Hmm.
So
Yeah, you just cut out.
can you hear me?
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, so the fifth year contract really boosted up to like 16 mil, right? So had you signed him, right? Had you signed him coming into the season, you could have basically just took his fifth year contract to 16 mil, right? Tacked on like the 2 years of franchise and transition tag on there, which would have been like what's going rate for pass rushers about 22, because I think Bosa was like 25 or some crazy shit, right?
Bosa got more than that, I think. Man,
Yeah.
I can't remember.
But like Bosa's Bosa, right? But you're gonna look and you're gonna average the top five. So you're looking at like 42, 16 plus, let's just call it 28. Well, no, the average will be 25. So that'll be like 41 and then another 25, 26 on the transition tag. So 3 years, 70 is about where you would start. So like I would sign him for 5 years, 100. Like I would sign him for 5 years, 145, guarantee 85 of it, and like I'm good with you because like
So,
you could reasonably in 2 years, bro. Because most teams don't want to do the transition tag. You
oh
could
yeah.
reasonably in 2 years have given away DJ Moore, the number one overall pick, and not have Brian Burns.
See,
That is franchise malfeasance.
it is, but here's the thing though. I'm not really gonna completely fault them for not giving Brian Burns that contract. Why? It's a brand new regime. They don't know him. He don't know them. Like they don't know each other. So there's no inclination to give him this contract off the rip because he may not fit into the system. Because Brian Burns, he's a good pass rusher, but he's not an elite pass rusher. Um, and he's limited. Like if you run at him, he's pretty much useless. So maybe they don't value that, and maybe they might franchise tag him and trade him.
So why not trade him instead of DJ Moore?
Uh, that
You
who
feel what
knows?
I'm
Maybe,
saying? Like there's no like if you're not going to give him the contract, keep DJ Moore, who was already under contract.
maybe it's things they didn't like about DJ Moore. Like
It- it-
it's impossible to get into the mind and try to make sense of some of the things some of these teams do because you'll end up only just trying you'll end up only hurting yourself because sometimes it's just too much because a lot of times they overthink it thinking they're the smartest person in the room. Like, oh, well, I'm smarter than you. I can trade this receiver and get another one. And now they're trying to scour the market to get another receiver.
exactly. Exactly. Like they're willing to give up more draft capital to get a wide receiver rather than keeping a receiver that you already had in-house under contract and trading a DN that you didn't want to sign.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy to me. It's crazy to me because like that to me is like literally like the equivalent would literally be dating a chick, right? And being like, you know what? I'm gonna break up with you and I'm gonna get with my side chick. And then getting with your side chick and keeping her a side chick. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm never gonna actually promote you to being the main chick. Like it doesn't actually make sense. Like, what did you break up with your girl for then? You know what I'm saying? Like it didn't make sense. It just the Panthers, like you said, they kind of outthink it, just try to be the smartest guy in the room. It just it's they're running the thing into the ground. Now, does it benefit us? Absolutely. I ain't mad at it. You know what I'm saying? But it's bad. It's bad franchise management.
Um, it also could be ownership too, though,
Yeah, ownership starts to meddle. But with that being said,
because
I think that brings us to the second topic on ownership meddled in that situation, right? Got you the quarterback. Why are teams pivoting on quarterbacks as fast as they are now?
we're in a microwave era. Everyone wants instant results with everything.
I remember back in my day, you know what I'm saying? That like a quarterback drafted in the third round was like You drafted this guy on day 2. This is a like on Madden, they used to get the little QB of the future tag. You know what I'm saying? Even like a second round quarterback. And now it's like,
Mm-hmm.
look at the Titans. Drafted Malik Willis in the 3rd round, drafted Will Levis in the 2nd. And Malik played last year, wasn't ready, didn't look like good at all. Drafted Will Levis. You come back this year, he beat Will Levis out. You know what I'm saying? Like, showed drastic improvement. And like,
He did.
people are going to be like, oh, hey, you got Malik in the 3rd round, he's starting quarterback. But like, what you fail to realize there, you wasted a 2nd round pick, bro. Quarterback is
No, 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 no,
quarterback.
no, no, no,
Quarterback
no,
is
no,
not
no, 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 no,
DN.
no, 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 no,
Quarterback
no,
is not cornerback.
no, 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 no,
You
no.
can't get another quarterback on the field.
No, 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 no. See, it's way too early to say whether that's a waste. It's a brand new GM. Malik Willis showed he was not equipped to be a quarterback, but he has improved this year. However, just to say he just flat out beat Will Levis out is true, but there's hindsight to
He
it.
beat him out.
He was hurt.
Like
He was hurt.
he beat him out.
No, he was hurt all training camp. Will Levis was hurt all training camp, so
And
he
then
was handicapped.
you go into the season, right? Tannehill's hurt. Who's starting?
Yeah, the dude that has more familiarity with the offense. They're not rushing him into the system. Will Levis, he was
So,
only drafted like
let's play it forward. Let's play it forward,
six
right?
months ago.
Obviously,
So
they're moving off Tannehill. Like, this is a given. They're gonna move off Tannehill, right?
here's the plan. Here's the plan. You got a 3rd round quarterback. You got a 2nd round quarterback. Tannehill's going to be removed from the situation. Have them battle it up for the starting quarterback position.
And if whichever one wins, you have a day 2 pick that could have been used on other parts of the team.
The thing is, the reality is every pick's not going to hit.
Every pick isn't going to hit. Every pick isn't going to hit. But
Teams have wasted picks on far few, so I would never blame a team for trying to, hit on a quarterback with a day 2 pick.
no, here's my thing. I don't mind trying to hit on a quarterback with the day 2 pick. It's the inconsecutive years, right?
You got to factor in. It's a brand new general manager. He wants his guy.
It's,
He had nothing to he had nothing to do with Willis.
which is fine. I get that. But now your guy's been beaten out, right? Now you got to look at, if you look at the transition of your team, you really struggle at offensive
Q
line.
Q Q. You can't really say he be beaten out. He's a rookie. He doesn't know the offense. The smart thing to do, because the thing is, they were always going to carry 3 quarterbacks.
That team specifically was always going to listen to the thought process. Listen to the thought process, right?
I get what you're saying.
There
But
is
listen,
no reason to not build up and develop. Look at San Francisco, right? So they spent the pick on Trey Lance, right? They drafted Trey
uh-huh,
Lance 3rd overall. The next year they drafted a quarterback. Where did they draft him?
and 7.
Huh?
But you can't see
They
that's
drafted
what
the next year.
hold
I'm
on.
not saying don't draft a quarterback. I'm saying by
No,
virtue
no.
of that position, there's
But
no reason to spend such a premium
what
pick
you're
on it
doing,
back in,
what you're
like, consecutively.
what you're doing is a very dangerous game. You never compare franchises because what one will work for one may not work for other. But you cannot ignore the fact, because the thing is, I think the general manager, he either came from the Rams or the Niners, one of the two. I can't remember. I know he came up from somewhere out west. No, he came from the Niners. He came from the Niners. So he was in that building. They hired him from the Niners to be the general manager. He's seen how the Niners. He was part of the process of building that team up. He was part of the selection of Brock Purdy. He was part of a lot of those things.
So
Is
if you look at it any way in time, then he should have known better than to pick a guy in the 2nd
no,
round.
you can't say that because this is his first draft class. This is
But,
his imprint on the team.
but we're getting caught in the weeds. Take the names out of it. Take the teams out of it, right? There's been an actual push to get quarterbacks like out of the building quicker, to like regime changes. People
Yeah,
want to draft their guy. Like you look at, I've always been wary of teams on different timelines with general managers, head coaches, and quarterbacks. I feel like when the GM, the head coach, and the QB all come in at the same time, guys get chance after chance after chance. Whereas if the guy's drafted first and then the head coach changes and then the GM changes, you see a guy who might only have 28 games of starting, and now everybody in the world is saying, "Oh, he's a bum, get him out of there." And it's like, bro, he hadn't even had 2 years.
okay. Here's the thing though. How often do you get to see a team with a general manager, a coach, and a quarterback all come in at once? How often do you get to see that?
No, so like prime example, the Jets did it, right? And like in any normal world, like hell, the Jets did replace their quarterback after 2 years, right? And now karma, they stuck with him. And look at him in year three. Is he average? No, he is decidedly below average. He's a
No,
functional
no,
NFL.
no, 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 no,
He's
no.
a
He's
functional
about
player.
he's about average now.
Yeah, but he's a functional player, right? And it took you to year three to get there. You know what I'm saying? Like your GM, your QB, your head coach all came in at the same time. Now, in contrast, look at Justin Fields, right? Everybody's saying, "Oh, they're going to get Caleb," right? But like, are they going to fire Matt Eberflus?
Probably
Are they going to fire the GM? Then you're going
no,
to have Ryan Poles, because that'll be Ryan Poles' third quarterback and third head coach. So like
no, wouldn't.
Ryan Poles, it'll be a
That will not be
second.
his
It'll
third.
be a second. It'll be a second. So but say you don't fire him,
Yeah,
right? Say you fire
yeah, because
Eberflus.
he came in with Eberflus. Like,
So say you fire Eberflus, and then it's like, okay, Poles gets another chance at a head coach, and he gets another chance at quarterback. He gets his guy, right? Or say you keep Eberflus. Well, let's say next year Caleb has a bad rookie season and fire everybody. Well, then like, what's to say? Hey, I don't want to come in and get my guy. Like, I just think it's like a very
well, typically,
it's a very dangerous game, and it's so many times I feel like quarterbacks just get washed out, and I think that's why we're seeing the rise of quarterbacks having success on second and third teams. Is because like I think a lot of guys just get like they get gave up on way too soon.
yeah, but hold on. Now this conversation sounds kind of familiar. I do believe we had this conversation a few weeks ago when Ritter was I want to say after the Jacksonville game. Ritter was not looking too well, and you were saying he's got to go. And then I was saying you don't want to give up on these players because it's like when you're at a mine and you keep on plucking and plucking and plucking, and then you're one pluck away from hitting gold, but instead you just walk away. Now you're making an about face on that same conversation.
Whoa. Let's revisit that. One, I stand by those comments completely because at that point in time, Ritter was playing like ass, and I think he should have been gone. Now, after
Now
this game,
you
hear me
can't say
out. Yeah,
that and then
you
have
made
this
your point.
say
I got to be able to rebuttal. You made your point. I got to be able to rebuttal. Right now, after this three interception game, I've seen enough traits to say I'm willing to give you the season. Right? Not say I'm going to make you the franchise quarterback, not saying I want to develop you into anything more. And to be completely honest, what sparked this conversation was the idea of the Falcons giving up draft capital for Drake May, right? And we're going to get to that point in a minute. But like, I'm perfectly capable and fine with giving you this season, right? I'm talking about multiple years with high pedigreed quarterbacks. Usually on a day one or two guy, right? Ritter was a
which
day two.
Ritter
Ritter
is.
was a day
Yes,
two
he
guy.
was.
Ritter was a day two guy. I'm willing to give you this season, right? Do I think that as a franchise we had malfeasance not playing him last year so we can have the big enough sample size that when a decision is needed to be made at the end of this season, we have a big enough sample? Yes. But you can't complain about eggs that's already been cracked. I do fully believe that if there comes a point in the season where we are in playoff contention and Ritter is not showing enough progress, we should go to Sam. And that will be the end of his experiment.
Sam.
Or that I said Sam, my fault. Heineke, right?
Okay, hold on, hold on. I do not understand this infatuation with the fan base on Taylor Heineke. He sucks.
If he gives you a better chance to win.
He's the thing. Okay, okay, okay.
But
Commanders. With the Commanders. The Commanders were never a bad team. Carson Wentz was just hurt.
and
And
I'm not
take,
saying
take,
Heineke is the
take,
savior. I'm not saying
no, but it's
Heineke
just no, but
is the answer.
this is more than just you though. It is just like a lot of people all be like, oh, Taylor Heineke, yeah, he if we have Taylor Heineke, we're 5-0 right now. We're not because
No,
he's
no,
not
no,
a
no,
good
no.
quarterback.
No, no. I'm not saying Taylor Heineke is the answer in any way, shape, or form. I am saying that if Desmond Ritter consistently gives you below average quarterback play, and you feel like you can get average or slightly above average quarterback play with
You're
Taylor
not getting
Heineke,
above average anything,
and
period.
I'm not saying it's the case. I'm not saying it's the case. I'm saying if you recognize that is what you're going to get with Ritter, right? Then go ahead to Heineke. That is what
I,
I meant when I said it during
okay,
the Jazz game, right?
so so
After the second half of the
Darren,
Jazz game, the Texans game, and this full Commanders game, right? I'm looking at it like you've shown enough traits for me to fully be okay with you riding out the season for good or bad, which is me saying that I want to give this day two, the person that we invested a pick in, a decent enough chance. Now, because the regime wasn't comfortable enough with you starting last year to beat out Mariota, who had terrible quarterback play. I was not overly invested in giving you any more of a chance outside of an 8-game sample, which was the 4 games last year. You had a whole offseason, you had a preseason, and the first 4 games of this year, which is why I was pretty fed up with you, ready to go
did
during
he
the
really have
Jazz
a
game.
preseason?
Huh?
Did he really have a preseason?
I'm just saying, in terms of having an offseason, having a training camp, like 4 games into the season, you played 8 games. That's an 8-game sample. There have been guys who look at Carolina. Matt Moore had an 8-game sample, and it was like cool. And they drafted him in the second round. He had an 8-game sample. It was like cool. Drafted Cam Newton. You know what I'm saying? Like I was fine with giving you that amount of time. We
Okay,
still have the opportunity for the
hold
playoffs.
on. Time out. Rerun that back. See, you can't say that and then just like they didn't trade up for number one. They took Cam because they were bad enough to get number one. That's a difference.
The big bro, you can
That
be in a
that that,
position.
that
You can be in a position to be bad.
that's a difference.
You could
Because
be in a position to be
the thing
bad,
is
have the number
the
one
thing
pick, and not choose a quarterback. The Bears
no.
just
Eh,
did
eh, well, because they still had
th-
belief because they took a quarterback
because
in
they
the first
believed
round.
in the quarterback that they drafted, whether it was first
But
round,
but
second
but
round, etc. So
but
that's what I'm saying. You had Ritter.
that's a poor argument in my opinion. That's a
That
very
you can
poor
be
argument.
bad in the first, like you could be bad
No,
enough to have the first pick and not take a quarterback.
I'm talking about the Matt Miller. That's a poor argument.
I'm saying, like you had an 8. He was drafted in the second round. He's a day 2 quarterback.
But no, but you're using that and comparing like yeah, they're day two quarterbacks, but these teams are on two totally different trajectories. Like they didn't have playoff expectations. We do. They didn't go out and spend $100 million on defense. We did.
And I'm not saying it's apples and
Like
apples. I'm saying it in the
it,
sense that they had a quarterback. They felt like they gave him a decent look, and then they decided to go in another direction, right?
yeah,
So
but the thing is,
the point that I'm making, don't get caught up in the names. The point that I'm making is that we can have a decent look at a quarterback, and that sample size doesn't have to be 17 games. The sample size doesn't have to be 10 games.
So
You can know what
okay,
kind of quarterback you have.
so
Now,
you're contradict. So
now,
now you're
no.
contradicting what you were saying
If
about
you
the
let me
original point.
finish, I'm gonna get there. If you let me finish, I'm gonna get there. I feel like when you're looking at guys, right, and as you're evaluating them, most people will look within that short amount of time span and say, hey, I don't see enough progression to keep investing in you, right? And I'm challenging that thinking to say, hey, what are we actually evaluating, even in a short time span, so that we can continue to give these guys looks? Because I feel like we may be turning it a bit too quickly, right? So if you look at the history, you look at the history of quarterbacks drafted
Mhm.
high that didn't get a whole bunch of game started chances, right? EJ Manuel, Trey Lance, like doesn't mean that they were going to be.
EJ Radio was horrible.
Yeah, it does. Like I was about to say, doesn't mean they're going to be good quarterbacks, right? Doesn't mean they're going to be good quarterbacks. What looks are we giving them? How are we actually evaluating them, right? Because like one of the first things I said was like, I am actually more impressed by how he's handled himself over the last two games than I have any of his games prior, even though he turned the ball over three times, right? So I feel like you have earned the opportunity, even though the win-loss may not reflect it, you've earned the opportunity to earn out the rest of the season, right? Now, that doesn't mean that logically as a coach, as a team, as an organization, that if you are consistently giving me less than stellar quarterback play, I don't have to make a business decision and go with who I think may give us a better chance if we're still in a playoff race. But if we are not in a playoff race, like we weren't last year, which is why I was so upset that we didn't start him last year, then
We
you
weren't
need
in a
to
playoff
start
picture
this
though.
guy. We weren't. We weren't.
We
After the Carolina game, it was over, bro. And
you can say
mathematically,
that,
we
but
weren't
that
eliminated.
yeah.
Mathematically, we weren't. But everyone knew we wasn't making it. That's what I mean by our teams really churning these guys out faster and then drafting over players, right? So I've always had an issue drafting over players that are like singular positions, right? So like D line, you could draft over D line all the time, right? So like if I draft a right end, and then the next year I draft a right end in the first round.
Oh, okay,
I,
okay. I didn't know what you were talking because the way you worded it
oh yeah,
took me
my
for.
okay, so my fault. But like if I draft a D end and he plays on the right side, and I draft another and I draft him in the second round,
Yeah, I
and
get
then
what
the
you get.
next year I draft a D end in the first round, I can put
What?
you on the left
That's
side.
different.
Yeah, I can put you in the middle of the line. Like I can find a place for you on the field, right? But like hell, Bijan and Tyler. Tyler went for over 1,000 yards last year. Still drafted Bijan, and like nobody had like nobody sees that as like a huge issue because like there are opportunities in which I can play
Mm,
both of y'all on the field.
I'm not. I'm not gonna say nobody because
No,
they.
no, no. I said my piece on it, but I'm saying there are opportunities. There are opportunities that both of y'all can be on the field, right? Both of y'all can be on the field. Both of y'all can split carries. With quarterback, if I draft a quarterback in the second round, right?
Mhm.
And then the very next year I draft a quarterback in the first round, there is no way in which that second round pick is going to hit the field. There's no situation, there's no world in that second round hitting the field. So like that was kind of just a wasted pick. You know what I'm saying? And like the draft
It's
is an economic exercise.
I still do not agree that it's a waste of pick. It's far too early to call anything a waste of pick. Because the thing is like this: say Tannehill's gone, they both compete for the draft, and whoever wins, but they both look good, you can still recoup your pick
Why
or
are you
recoup
stuck on
some
the
sort.
Titans? I didn't even talk about these cats.
Well, no, no, but it's just like you talk about the second round thing. It is just it just kind of just triggered a thought.
Like a prime example, like Kansas City. If Kansas City
Yeah,
went and drafted a quarterback in the first round this year, what would you think?
Well, that would be crazy because you got Mahomes.
It, so what would you
But
think about that pick?
that's a like that's not even a close comparison. Like
I'm
give me
saying
something more
you would
give
think
me
it's a
something more
waste.
realistic.
You would think it's a wasted pick, right?
But I don't think it's a waste to pick it in that situation. But yeah, in the Mahomes situation, yes,
Okay, so
because he's
think
still
about
young.
so we're gonna follow it all the way down, right? So what if the Giants picked a quarterback in the first round? What did you think about that pick?
I wouldn't be mad at it because I think Daniel Jones sucks.
Right? But Daniel Jones is absolutely on the team for the next 2 years.
There's always ways at everything, but yeah.
No, like bro, you can't take the dead cap hit. He is absolutely on the team for the next 2 years, right?
If a team wants you gone, they'll find a way to do it.
Bro, they might, because like we took a super huge hit on Matt, but for the reasonable accommodation of it,
Okay. So for your sake
the
of
sake of the
argument,
argument, for the sake of the
with the
argument,
card, with the Cardinals, you think they're not going to take a quarterback?
I think that Kyler's healthy. They paid him. They're in the second year, and it's an injury clause. So if you were to trade him, the dead cap is lowered. So that's a different circumstance. But even if you did draft a quarterback, you wouldn't keep Kyler. So
So
let's
what's the
let's
difference
walk
between
let's
that and the
walk that all
Giants?
the way through. Let's walk that all the way through, right? So I draft a quarterback in the first round, right? I let him play the whole year. We do whatever we need. I trade Kyler, obviously. If in the next season I draft a quarterback in the third round, knowing all the holes that my team has, that would seem as though it's a wasted pick.
I mean, at third round, not really because it's just. I mean, you still just injuries happen. You still need to have like some. That's how some teams get their backup quarterbacks.
That is, but like if I
That,
have a
that's
guy, if I have a guy that I believe in, sign a veteran
yeah,
backup, bro.
but the thing is that doesn't work for everybody. Sometimes you just want to just you might take like maybe they don't want to go spend that 7 million on a veteran backup, and maybe they just well, let me just draft the guy that I think is smart
If you
and
got a
that can
rookie quarterback, even if you draft him in the first round, you're not, and you pay 7 million for a backup, you're not allocating more than 5% of the salary cap to the quarterback position. Doesn't
I
make
mean,
sense.
but there's proven cases of where it works. Like there are proven cases where it works.
Where
Even with the Washington, like well, it didn't work for RG3 because he got hurt, but Kirk Cousins ended up taking off. Was Kirk Cousins the waste to pick?
wait, what round was Kirk Cousins drafted?
Fourth.
Exactly. In the same draft, when they traded up and gave away every pick between 2 and 3, RG3 got hurt. Kirk Cousins played. They made the playoffs with RG3. The next year, uh, Kirk ended up taking him over at the end of the year. RG3 just like literally couldn't play. But in all truth and honesty, that was an extremely dumb draft. Like there were so many holes within that Washington team that could have been fixed. You got to remember, Washington's original pick in that draft was like 11, I think it was. And they moved all the way up to 2, gave up their second and third round pick and a 1 next year, and then drafted a quarterback and then a quarterback. That was stupid. That was stupid. And then once Kirk Cousins played all the way out, not keeping him was also stupid. But that's why the Redskins were the Redskins.
Yeah, but I mean, he
It,
was a Shanahan
it
guy.
was it was stupid. Like there's certain franchises that you see as smart franchises, right? And like you see it within their draft philosophy. We're gonna draft a quarterback when we need. Like the Patriots had Tom Brady. They used to draft a quarterback like every other year, right? But they wouldn't spend a quality pick on that because it's like we have a guy. And even though, like, of course, that's
They
Tom
took
Brady.
Garoppolo in the second.
They took Garoppolo in the second when they were looking to replace him. Realized they couldn't. The next time they took a quarterback was in the fourth. Then the next time they took quarterback was Mac Jones. There are teams that understand that, like, that's a position that, like, only one guy can be on the field. If I pick a D tackle in the second round and, like, I got a stud D line, I could rotate him in. You feel me? I pick a cornerback and I got two bomb ass corners, I could put him at nickel, bro. You know what I'm saying? I could make you a third safety. I could play you on special teams. There's nothing I could do with a quarterback. So spending a high pick on him and then spending a high pick on a very similar guy to next year, it's a waste of it's bad team building.
I'm going to agree to disagree on that.
All right,
I can see the reasoning behind why you would do it. So I want to agree to disagree.
I'm not saying don't draft a quarterback. I'm actually a proponent of drafting a quarterback pretty much every year, even when you have a guy, or at the very least every other year. I'm just saying, like, you have to recognize where you picked a guy and what's the point of picking a guy. And then, like, are we giving him a good and decent look? You know what I'm saying? If you're going to put your foot behind the guy, give him a good and decent look. There doesn't have to be 17 games. No one's telling you to have a shitty season. But in all truth and honesty, you got to put your best foot forward with the guy. Now, we have gone way too long on this one. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up. Appreciate you guys for coming out, listening to us rant, go back and forth. This has been your boy Q City.
Your boy Taj Bravado.
And we out. Click that like, subscribe button. Click that little bell, ding, notify, all that good jazz. Check us out on YouTube and Known Productions. And we're on Spotify, Apple Music, Podcast, all that good stuff. Appreciate y'all. We out.
Peace.
Looking like I hit the lotto. I want a hottie like mulatto. I'm on here and she on Moscato. I'm in them good till tomorrow. I'm a robber for the Neros. Your little loss, I'ma put you on payroll. You smell that aroma? Design the air, it's a party here. Papa Corona, she moving the body, she working them heels. Gotta go get it mentality. Grocery bag full of celery. Only believe half what she telling me. Keep a 20 on me, case emergency. I wake up early every morning. Thank the Lord and get the bag. Hustle hard, get the cash. Stack first, then I'm showing my ass. Gotta go get it mentality. Grocery bag full of celery. Only believe half what she telling me. Keep a 20 on me, case emergency.
My babies, that's who I grind for. That's who I do it for. Like the Navy, that's who I'm toting that iron for. Keep one in the head like a thought, nigga. Yeah, I fuck with Ty, he a boss, nigga. Foot on their neck, I exhaust, nigga. Niggas cross me, so I cross niggas. The stripper was lit last night. 500, what it cost, nigga. Shit was really legit last night. Had them hoes at the house, nigga. Instagram, Snapchat, Triller. What they say about Jay, he a go-getter. Used to have them fat sacks in the grove, nigga. Late nights, early morning, my dough, nigga.
You smell that aroma? Design the air, it's a party here. Papa Corona, she moving the body, she working them heels. Gotta go get it mentality. Grocery bag full of celery. Only believe half what she telling me. Keep a 20